Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. It is Ella here. As usual, you're welcome to another episode of the Humanitarians of Africa series, where I have been sharing wonderful stories of wonderful founders from all across Africa. Today I have with me Penina from Kenya, and she's here to share the story of her amazing foundation and the growth in her organization that is based off in Kenya. Penina, thank you so much for coming on this session with me today. It's amazing to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so Penina, I met Penina on Twitter, yeah? And I don't know anything about her. I just invited her and I saw the work she was doing in lots of things and all of that. So I said Penina is going to definitely be a very good person to bring on board to share her story. So Penina, could you please introduce yourself to us? Who is Penina? What does she do? And anything you're comfortable with sharing with us today.
Okay, my name is Penina Forchangeke from Kenya, and I come from a place called Kilifi, and I am a mental health advocate, gender equality, and climate activist. And I'm also a coordinator of a young activists network, which was extended in Kenya recently. It's called Young African Defenders in Action, officially known as YADA, and also a peace ambassador, which is an African magazine based in the UK. And I'm also a Yalia alumni. And finally, I'm the founder of Girls Action for Change, and I'm a change maker in general.
I can see that you're a change maker. A lot of things that you're doing as an activist, gender equality, health, climate, everything. These are very, very key areas in the development sector. And I'm glad that you're actually making an impact in that area. So talking about your organization, what's your organization about and what's the impact you have been able to make so far?
So Girls Action for Change is a community-based organization, and we deal with girls and women's rights. And our main focus is to end teenage pregnancies, sexual gender-based violence, and we also ensure that we have gender equality in our society, because I believe that both girls and the girl and the boy child both have the same right, equal right to go to school. So I would say that is what we do. And also the impact right now, we haven't made let's say a bigger impact, but
any impact is impact.
But we have reached a number of young girls in both the community and in primary and high schools. And we are very proud of that, and one step at a time.
Definitely, one step at a time. What actually drew my attention to you and the work that you do is teenage pregnancy. And you're actually the first person I'm interviewing that is working around teenage pregnancy. And I just left Kenya. I was in Kenya in July. I left in July. I was in Nairobi, to be precise. And so when you said Kilifi, I think I've heard that place. I was told about the place. I was at Kilimani and some other places like that. But when I was in Kenya, I was being told about the issue of teenage pregnancy, young girls getting pregnant, and they said it was quite rampant. Do you mind telling us, you're working with these girls, you have first-hand information on how the whole situation is like. What's the situation of teenage pregnancy in Kenya today?
So going back to during the pandemic, it was very bad. It was very bad, and the percentage rose up to 40%. So different stakeholders in the community, like the government and other NGOs, came up together, and at least the percentage dropped up to 18%, which is now. So I wouldn't say the situation is very bad or is good, but I would say to me it's not pleasing. It's not pleasing at all, because past research shows that 1 in every 3 girls is pregnant or already a mother, but now we have 1 in every 5 girls. So I wouldn't say it's good. I wouldn't say it's pleasing. It's very bad, and we have so many young girls back in the community, like they have lost focus, because at a certain point they got pregnant, and they were sent back home to, like, it's not like the teachers say that the girl is not supposed to stay in school because she's pregnant. Which is very yeah.
Based on your experience and the work that you have done so far, what do you think is responsible for so many girls just getting pregnant at young ages? What do you think there is any? I know during the pandemic, because they were idle, not doing anything, but going forward, what exactly do you think is responsible for that problem of teenage pregnancy?
Yeah, for me, I would say two things, and one of them being poverty. We find that girls especially in the rural areas, go through this situation because at some point they lack like sanitary towels, so they experience period poverty. And we have these guys in Kenya, we call them boda boda.
Yeah,
I hope you heard
that.
Yeah, the bodas, they take advantage of the situation, and at the end of the day, the girl is pregnant. So I will say poverty, and the second thing, I will say the lack of information. So when I say this, I mean that let's say a girl is already pregnant and she decided to give birth and go back to school, but she does not have the actual information, like the information on how she's going to prevent another occurrence from happening. Let's say the first occurrence was let's say a mistake, but the second occurrence, what are we going to call it? Because the girl has no any information of preventing herself. So I would say poverty, and also the lack of information, also sexual gender-based violence, which is a certain research said that recently that women in Kenya, like almost over, let's say over 40% of women in Kenya are at risk of facing like gender-based violence, which in gender-based violence we have the sexual gender-based violence. So sexual gender-based violence is also a bigger problem to the young girls. Yeah.
I can actually understand when you say the first one was a mistake, but then the second one, what do we call it? So that period when they are not educated or they don't have information, it's like they don't know better, so they just keep falling prey, and that's really, really, really bad. So recently I saw that you were campaigning about contraception to solve teenage pregnancy, or to kind of support the work that is being done with teenage pregnancy. Now, I know that there are a lot of myths around contraceptions, and also because they are teenagers. So how would you say that contraception is solving the problem of teenage pregnancy? Don't you think it's sort of encouraging the girls to engage in sexual activities, because when they start to engage in sexual activities, they now know that, okay, there are contraceptions I can actually use that would make me not get pregnant? I don't know if you're getting my view. What do you think about it?
I will start by saying that it's not, and I repeat, it's a no, because let's say our parents tend to assume that we don't know anything about sex or other activities. So we other people in the society tend to think that she's 19, she doesn't know like something like sex, so how does a man look or what? But let us not assume. We already have the problem, like young girls are engaging in early sex, so we don't need, there is no point saying that contraceptives are going to like encourage the young girl to engage. Yeah, we know that the young girl already knows about at an early age as 12 or 9.
10, yeah, true.
9 years. Yeah. So we don't need to assume anything. We don't need to assume anything. We have to take control of this situation and yeah, and end this problem. Yeah.
You're actually right. So because they already know about it, there is no need hiding from the fact that they are already aware. Let's just face the problem and forget about the fact that they are aware or they are not aware. You're actually right. You're actually right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned gender equality, being a gender equality advocate, and you also mentioned something about gender issues. So what are the major gender issues in Kenya? And how exactly is your organization, you know, solving that problem or contributing to the change in that sector?
One of the biggest gender issues in Kenya is the FGM. Yeah, the FGM. We also have the gender-based, the gender bias in education, where, as I said before, when a girl gets pregnant, the boy stays in school and the girl goes back home and she has no access to education. We also have child marriages, and the other problem we have sexual gender-based violence. So gender-based violence at large. So my organization, we are basically focused on sexual gender-based violence. We are also focusing matters education. We ensure that this girl is pregnant and she doesn't know where to start. She has this little child, and she was thrown out of school because she was pregnant. So we try to ensure that we provide something like an encouragement, or we can go talk to the school so that the girl can go back to school. We also encourage the parents to accept the fact that my child is pregnant, so I need to take care of her. She needs to go back to school and later become something in life. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a lot of work you're doing, having to engage the parents, engage the school, and also engage the child. That's really a lot of people you have to settle first before that problem is actually solved. I can't really imagine how that would be for you. So let's talk about you now and your work experience with your organization. What exactly led you into running an organization for girls and wanting to solve the problem of teenage pregnancy? Is this out of a personal experience, or you just were motivated, or out of a passion?
I will say it's two things: the passion and the motivation, the outside motivation. So back when I was young, I used to have this dream of helping people, like making people happy. And at some point, I used to tell my mom, one day when I grow up, I want to have like a children's home. So when I was in high school, teenage pregnancies were so high. The rate was so high, and some of my friends were even affected. So after some time, the girls will lose focus, and because she's not in school, and she will lose focus, and at the end of the day, her life is miserable. So that really moved me, and I was like, I really want to help this person. Like, I really want to help people in my community. So when I was done with college, I was like, this is the time. Like I don't even want to get employed. I want to help my community. I want to be there for my community, because I can see that personally I'm a girl who has dreams. I'm a girl who has goals. So I know the other girls also have their own goals and dreams. So I was like, let me try and come up with something which will help the girl child in this community, and not to lose focus or give up in life. And so, yeah, Girls Action for Change, that's how it came about. Generally helping the girl child and help her refocus. If maybe at some point she's pregnant, she gets pregnant and gets a child, we are trying to help her to refocus to her goals and dreams. Yeah.
Wonderful story, wonderful story. I love the fact that you chose to put all your experiences together and everything that was happening within your environment to channel it to help people. That's a very good thing. So what exactly have been the challenges you have faced running your organization so far? What challenges in terms of helping people and also having to run the organization? I know funding is one very major challenge that a lot of NGOs have.
Yeah.
So that one is definitely on the table. But apart from funding, what other problems have you experienced so far?
Personally, I will say the lack. I won't say the lack of support. I will say the inadequacy of support from other individuals, like all individual or organizations. Like yes, I have support from different mentors, different close people, but as a young person who has dived in this the matter of helping the community, like you have really given up yourself to help others. We really need that support, the encouragement, like I'm wrong here, you are not going the right way, so you need to go to this way so that everything will work out as fine. So I would say the inadequacy of support from other well-established NGOs. Yeah, I think that is the biggest challenge I'm facing right now. Yeah.
I know what that means to not have support. You know, the way it is in life nowadays is people want you to get to a certain stage of, I don't know if I'm to call it fame or something. So they want you to be in the spotlight before they want to begin to identify with you. And that's a very wrong way to look at it, because even though they say the young shall grow, so even a small organization will definitely become big one day. So now this is the most interesting part. What day would you never forget in the course of running your organization? So what day really stood out for you and it made a mark in your heart?
I wouldn't say it's a single day, but it was a certain period of time where I had already started my organization and everything was just fine. And at some point, I don't know what happened. At some point, I started breaking down, like every day, like twice a day, once a day. So it was very hard for me. Sometimes I could go through my emails and start checking for job opportunities and start applying, because I had already told myself that I don't need to be employed to help my community. So my focus is the community first, then employment later or something else later. But at that period of time, I really wanted, I think I applied like five job opportunities because I was really stressed and I didn't know what to do. And I also, the people who I could confide in were outside the country, so it was very hard to reach them and talk to them. So it's not a single day, it was like 1 month and some few days. It was really hard for me.
I'm so sorry about that experience. Overwhelm is something that a lot of nonprofit founders have to go through because, you know, when you're helping people, sometimes the problems of people start to compound you, and you're like, who sent me to do this work that I'm doing today? And you feel so overwhelmed, and sometimes you just break down. It's really, really crazy sometimes. So I have just two more questions for you before I let you go. You tweeted on Twitter one time saying there would be no climate justice without gender equality. So what do you mean by this? There will be no climate justice without gender equality.
So as we know that climate and gender goes hand in hand. Climate changes greatly affect the young women and girls. And let's say in a situation where there is drought, the family is overwhelmed, the father is overwhelmed, the relatives and everyone doesn't know what to do because there is drought. So in such a situation, we can see that not in all families, but in some families, the women might experience gender-based violence. Like they can be beaten because the husband is stressed, his animals are dying, and he's losing all his wealth. So women and girls tend to go through gender-based violence during pandemics. We also see that also women tend to are the ones who take actions during the pandemic. I mean that when there is drought, women are the ones who go out and look for, in search for water and food, and come, which is a very bad thing. And let's say the man is just there mourning his goats or animals or camels. So so during the, climate changes, women are greatly affected, and not only women, but also I could say children. But in the Twitter, I was trying to mean that let's say some policies or some approaches do not favor women. So in as much as some feminist movements are trying to bring the fact that women are not favored, we also need to understand that women are greatly affected, and we need to favor them during the pandemics, such pandemics.
You have a wonderful point there. It's like women are on the receiving end of most things that have to happen in the world, and nobody's looking at the fact that these things actually affect us. When you even look at periods, so when there is climate change, which causes sometimes shortage of water, you know, and all of that. When the girl is menstruating, no access to water, and the whole thing just starts escalating from there. So you actually have a very, very valid point. So finally, are there any programs or any activities or anything you would like to tell the audience to support you on? So maybe someone listening to you right now that might want to support you. Is there anything you need support on with the organization?
Yeah, so I have like two projects, which one I already started like yesterday, was it? Yeah, I think yesterday. Okay. And it's called it's actually a campaign. It's called Road to Zero Teen Pregnancies.
Yeah.
Hashtag Zero Teen Pregnancies. Yeah. So in this campaign, I'm trying to like, it's a call to action for the stakeholders, the different stakeholders in the community to come together so that we can end this problem. We don't need to act when the number is high and relax when the number is low, because the low number means someone is affected. So it's a call to action to other organizations to join hands and end this problem. So if I will get any kind of support, I will be very happy. And also we're planning to have it's a mental issue, like mental talks with the boy child, because we have seen that most of the time we talk about the girl child every time, and
Very
we tend to forget the boy child. So also we are planning to start a project on the boy child on matters regarding mental health. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So guys, you have heard it from Penina. Her contact details, everything you need to reach out to her organization is on your screen right now and also in the description box of this video. Please feel free to share with as many people as possible, as usual, like I would always tell you. And if you want to support, you want to donate, you want to volunteer, you want to partner, you want to collaborate, please feel free to send an email or contact her through the details you can see on your screen today. Thank you so much, Penina, for having this conversation with me. I absolutely enjoyed myself. Looking forward to doing so much more with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you too. Thank you.
No worries. So thank you everyone for joining us on today's episode. Please go back, watch the other episodes. Go forward, watch the further episodes that are coming up. And I know season 2 will soon be over for the Humanitarians of Africa series. Season 3 is going to be back, bigger, better, and as you know it, we give it to you, the stories undiluted. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.